Learn the truth about personal development. Stay tuned. This is Damon Cart from NLP Gym, bringing you cutting-edge Neuro Linguistic Programming tools to help you create the life that you desire. If that sounds good, please click subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can get these videos on a regular basis. Think about all the devices that we use in personal development, things like vision boards, goal setting, even walking on hot coals, affirmations. Does any of this stuff really work? Imagine if you were able to take all of those things like vision boards, your goals, your affirmations. What would it be like if you were able to program that into you? Sort of like in that movie, The Matrix, when they want to learn Kung Fu, so they just download that right into their minds. What would it be like to take those personal development devices and techniques and whatever else, like the visualization stuff, and just actually program that into you? What if you could program affirmations into you? What would that be like? More on that in a moment. My mentor, the late Steve Andreas, used to make a metaphor or an analogy about where you live and what you surround yourself with. So if you think about it, if you're at home right now, or if you're in your office or at work, look around you. What do you decorate your surroundings with? So if you're at home, you probably put pictures of your family around. You probably put little statues of, if you're very religious, maybe it's religious statues or different religious symbols. What about your furniture? I'm sure you have furniture that looks nice and that it's comfortable for you to sit or lie on. And also you might have music. You might have speakers around your house and you play pleasant music. Is that where you really live though? Where do you actually live? And where do you actually work? Because at work you probably do the same thing. You probably have pictures of your kids around you, depending on your workplace. And you probably try to surround yourself with as much positive influences as possible. In your workplace, you probably have awards. You probably have trophies of things that you've won to remind you of your successes. But where do you really live and work? Do you really live in your home? Do you really work in your office? No. You live inside your mind. You live inside your neurology. Yes, you do live inside your body, but your mind and body are one and the same. There is no difference between your mind and body. You can't have a mind without a body, and you can't have a body without a mind. And if you had a body with no mind, you would have no awareness of your body. So the two are really one and the same. And we could also say that that's your neurology. You live in your neurology. You live in your mind. You're taking in all of this information through your five senses, and then you represent or represent that information inside of you. You see images in your mind, you see movies in your mind, you hear voices. You hear sometimes critical voices. Sometimes you hear encouraging voices. You might even hear music. You can hear really fast-paced music, or you can hear really slow melodic music. You might even hear nature sounds. And what does your body feel like? Well, there's the body where if you're taking care of your body, you probably feel good if you're stretching and you exercise. And then there's the states that you experience. Are you experiencing positive states or negative states? Are you experiencing emotions like worry, fear, anger? This is where you live. We can make our home as comfortable as we can possibly make it. We can surround ourselves in our physical home with images and trophies, anything that makes us feel good, and the same in our workplace. But that's not where you really live. I know this from my own personal experience, and I know this from working with my clients. We tend to put our attention on the things that we don't want. We think about, we visualize the stuff that we don't want. We hear critical voices. We experience that fear, worry, anger. As much as we would like to think that we're focused on what we want, we often are not. In my initial coaching sessions with anyone, my first question to them is, what do you want? And usually we spend anywhere from 15 minutes to the entire session getting clear about that, because the first thing out of their mouth is everything that they don't want. And then I have to, after a little bit of hearing that, I say, okay, now stop. I know what you don't want. You know what you don't want. What do you want instead? And it's amazing to me how very little clarity and focus people have about what it is they actually want. So what are they decorating their real home with? If you're very clear about what you don't want, and it's normal, by the way, let me also say that too. Why are we very focused on what we don't want? Because we are the descendants of our ancestors who survived. And how did they survive thousands of years ago? They focused a lot on that man-eating tiger around the corner. They focused a lot on that lion or that woolly behemoth that might attack them. So they had to focus on these things in order to survive. But we don't live in those times anymore, but we're still hardwired for that. The great thing is we have something called a conscious. We have awareness, and we can stop this. We can intervene. We can change how we think. We can redecorate our interior home, our real home. So think about that. If I ask you what it is you want, and you spend a lot of time telling me what it is you don't want, what does that tell me about how you've decorated your true home, your mind? That means you most likely have a lot of images of what you don't want. You have critical voices telling you what not to do. You have these feelings, these emotions that you don't want to feel, but you feel them because you're trying to avoid them. It's a strange thing, or you're trying to avoid what might create those feelings. And don't get me wrong, there is value to fear and anger. Fear and anger are they're great alarm systems. They will wake you up to a situation. Fear will wake you up to something you need to pay more attention to watch out for. Anger can wake you up to when something has gone too far and you're fed up and you're ready to change something. But remember, they're alarm systems. So if you have an alarm in the morning that wakes you up, you turn it off and then you go about your day. You don't take that alarm and carry it with you blaring continuously, and you don't carry that with you throughout your day to remind you not to fall asleep. You let it go, you turn it off, and you move on. So fear and anger are good emotions to wake you up. But you don't want to decorate your home with these feelings. Imagine that's your furniture, fear and anger, guilt, shame. That's the furniture in your interior home for you to feel comfortable. That's not going to help you out. Or your mind is filled with all these images of what you don't want, and these voices and these sounds of everything you don't want. No, you want to change all that. And that's what Neuro Linguistic Programming does. It makes you aware of how you are decorating your interior home and how to change it. You think about affirmations, you think about goal setting, which is linguistic. Affirmations are linguistic. And then you write out your goals, and then you can see them, so that's visual. Your states, that's your feelings, that's the kinesthetic. So NLP teaches you to become aware of all of this so that you can then change it and redecorate it. And the best part about this is that right now for most people it's unconscious. How you've done this in your internal representations is all very unconscious. And if you think about that, if it's all unconscious, you're reacting and responding unconsciously to all of these interior representations that you've created. What would it be like if you changed all that? And instead of having a vision board that you see twice a day, you live in that vision board, that it's already programmed into you. And even better if it becomes unconscious. You ever had those times in your life where you were very focused on what you wanted, you had that vision board, you were trying to move toward it, and yet the more you seemed to try to work toward it, the more it seemed to elude you. That's because you had all this conscious noise that you were bringing into it. This scarcity where you were like, I need this, I gotta have it. But when you let that go unconscious, you probably had the experience of when you finally let it go and you forgot about it, maybe a few months later, a year later, maybe even a few years later, suddenly you have it. That's what that is. When you allow these things to go unconscious, then your conscious mind doesn't get in the way anymore. So you have to bring it into your conscious awareness to change it. But once you change it, then you can let it go unconscious. So what would that be like if your interior home, your real home, where you really live, You decorate it with your vision board, exactly what you wanted to create in your life, who you want to become. Imagine if instead of critical voices, you heard voices of encouragement, voices of telling you where options are, where opportunities are, encouraging you to take action and do the things that you want to do, the things that make you happy. Imagine if you could manage your states so that you could feel the feelings that make you feel resourceful, feel the feelings that encourage you to take action, energetic feelings. That's that kinesthetic part. That's you could decorate your internal home with that furniture. What would that be like? So this is why NLP is so extraordinary. It's not just about having these morning rituals or vision boards, it's living that. It's actually programming that into who you are and then letting it go unconscious so you don't even have to think about it anymore. So these devices are fine. I'm not telling you to not use them. What I am saying is that there is a much more powerful way to do this, and that is to build it in to your mind, build it into your neurology, and that's what NLP can do for you. Check out my website, nlp-gym.com. There you will find some free NLP training as well as some free hypnotic inductions that you can download right away and get instant access. Download it right to your phone, your tablet, your computer, whatever, and get started right away. Also, there's only a few more days left of the open enrollment for my ultimate NLP online practitioner training. That will close this coming Saturday, September 22nd. I don't know when I'm opening it again, so check it out. I will put a link in the description here and a link in the comments right here. Also, check out NLP Gym on Facebook if you'd like to know whatever it is that I'm up to, or if I'm releasing new trainings or doing a live training or talk in your area. If you like this video, please click like right down here. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button as well. Take care.